up, guys? If you're new to the channel or not, welcome. It'll be greatly appreciated if you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, because it would truly help the channel to grow. Or smack that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. And today's video, I'm doing the Wacom Cintiq tablet versus the iPad Pro. And to do this video, I had to choose a character that was a simple character to draw, in my opinion. And after some research, I came up with one of the minions. The real task here is drawing the same character on the iPad Pro first, and then I'm going to be moving on to the Wacom. And as the video progresses, I'm just going to speak on the pros and cons of the device I'm using. And this one we're starting here is the iPad Pro, and definitely a pro of the iPad Pro, no pun intended, is the fact that, this is just an amazing device. Right now for this video, I have it stable, but if I was not doing this video, I can just have it on my lap and just be in any comfortable area and move around with it wherever I need to go, But that is definitely a plus for the iPad. And it is just almost the way the Apple Pencil works with the iPad. It's just like a perfect marriage. And for the iPad Pro that I have the sheet that you could throw on the screen, and it kind of gives it more of a feel like paper. So that definitely helps with the drawing features on here. And going back and forth from the eraser. And one of my favorite parts of this iPad, and using the Procreate, of course, is just dragging the color and dropping it in. Once you have your shapes locked in and no breaches, no breaking points, where it's really easy for the computer to know what you're trying to do, it just almost flows like magic. We are just tightening it up. And definitely, the touch screen and zooming in and out is, if you've never used the iPad or the Procreate, and you're even thinking about purchasing one for any drawings or any kind of creative endeavors, I would definitely recommend it. Definitely if you're using the Apple Pencil in any kind of sketching, drawing. I've used Photoshop on here too, and it was not as friendly as Procreate. Procreate is just a fun program to use. They thought of all the challenges you can face as an artist, and you just put a feature in there to help you get through any kind of challenge you might face as you're being creative. And even though I sped it up on a time lapse, in real time, this on the iPad took in all maybe about 17, 18 minutes tops. And just added in the details, and we are done with the iPad Pro. My minion is complete and on to the Wacom tablet. And this, I had to set the camera up in a different angle. So if you guys will please excuse my head coming in the shots. Yes, the Wacom is definitely a wider screen. This is the 32-inch Wacom Cintiq. And I am, since Procreate uses vector, I had two choices. I could use Illustrator or Animate. I decided to go with Animate because it was a little more similar. It was more similar to, I guess, Procreate in the fact that you didn't really need layers. If I use an Illustrator, I would have to come in with more layers. So I decided to go with Animate to give it like a fair trial against Procreate. And automatically, with the Wacom, I had an option to turn off the touch because it's a little different than using the iPad Pro. The touch is not as seamless like with the two fingers. I was used to this iPad Pro, and I'm going in with the two fingers and not really using the keyboard as much as I could have. But after I got through some of this nonsense, like doing one eye and duplicating it and resizing and these type of things, it took me on a different journey from the iPad Pro. This Wacom and using the Animate is a little more technical, but it was still a fun flow. It's just the touching of the screen, but either you can turn that off or on. But once you get used to, whatever you're comfortable with, you can get into a nice flow with the Wacom. As you see here, this is where I'm starting to just get into a flow, similar to, I guess I would say Animate was out first. So I would say Procreate is similar to the Animate as far as closing off your shape. But you have more option with the Animate. You can choose if you want small gaps, large gaps for your ink to cover. Right, so you don't have to close off your shapes as tight as you do on Procreate. It was an instant change, because the thing is, I jumped on the Wacom right after the Procreate, and the instant change was the more technical the Wacom and the Adobe Animate you get from it. There's definitely more of a technical feel in you. You already know that you can do much more than what I'm trying to do here. But for something like this guy, they're both, both of them, you can get the job done. But just by the technicalities of the Wacom on the Animate, and it would have been took just a bit longer if I chose Photoshop or Illustrator, but Photoshop would not have been vector, so it would not have looked, they on the same level as the Procreate. It just would have been a little different look to it. But you definitely could get the job done with both of them. But with the Wacom, getting to the end of this character took me about 24 minutes compared to the iPad. But that had a lot to do with me not turning off the touchscreen. I should have turned it off because I was touching a lot of the screen where I didn't need to, That's and I like having that option. But if I had to choose, if I'm doing something more, if you're doing something more technical, more painterly, more detailed oriented, and you want more of a wider strokes and just more detailed, I would choose the Wacom. But for convenience and relaxation, your feet up, laid back, I definitely would go with the iPad Pro. So it depends on what you are doing, you know. Something quick, iPad Pro, but you can still get something truly detailed too, and you know, beautiful with both of these devices, you know. So I guess I would call it a draw if I had to call it a draw. If you can do both, you'll do both, right? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There you have it. Both minions are done. Until next time, y'all be good and be safe. Peace.